we read his transformation. And we are not quite clear in the first. Why 3 students? The Lord is twerking. Yes, Peter, Jacob, and A. Second moment is what? And what is he holiday for? Why did the Lord transform? Here it would seem, yes, the Lord never does anything by accident. In one way, in 2 why. Every miracle. If this is a true miracle, it always has its meaning. This meaning is aimed at saving a person. So when we look for this holiday, we have the first that is laid as if the first question. This is why all this was. Why does the mountain of Tabor rise? Why does he take 3 students with him? Why do to appear there? Prophet Moses and I. And that's all we need, as if a little for ourselves. Clarify, and all this needs to be linked to us. When we ask ourselves this question, why need this? We must address first to those lyrics which we have, namely church texts in our church literature, service literature, and one of these books is a bookless, where are collected all songs that are dedicated. This or that holiday is dedicated. And that's when we open Holiday Mania and we read the contact. We understand why this is all. It said that when the Lord will unearth, then the disciples watching his suffering, for them it will be a temptation, because the Lord has preached and was a prophet. In people's eyes he was the Messiah. In the eyes of the apostle, he was the Son of God. And at some point it becomes criminal before state power. And then not just criminal and notorious. Like if he's a booty man, he gets executed as a booty man. He's executed as a fugitive slave on the cross. And in this moment, the apostles, of course, doubts could arise. And why was all this? Why try it all, if such an inglorious ending at some point? And we understand that apostles, that's at some point they were really seduced. They were afraid, they ran away. They did not know what to do. They were in such turmoil inside. And here we are. Holiday Kondak explains. What was that for? They understood that suffering is free. Let him understand free suffering. Said in Kondak free suffering. Yes, and Dukkayoshtrak crucify. Suffering understands free. Here's literally a quote from that Kondak. But what will it give? And we'll give this one, that's what. They will remember, and they will be confirmed in thought. That Christ is not just a man. And that Christ is the radiance of apostasy. God Father, shine glory of God Father. As the scripture says, that he is the Son of God, essentially not by grace. How you and I are meant to be. Thou grace. We are all with you, called to be sons of God by grace. By Tao. but he is essentially. These are drastically different things. You should understand this. And that's identified. At this point they should have remembered the transformation, about how he showed his glory and shine. Thank the Lord. This is the first moment, which we must remember for ourselves too, as if of your life. Because our life is similar in that sense. What is she striped? Yes, there are moments when a person is ascended by the soul, and there are moments of drought, frank or such. You know this. Well, what do we call? Man is sometimes in open such fierce, in dryness when everything around seems gloomy, when it seems that everyone forgot about you, nobody needs you, and even God seems to have forgotten you. And then you ask yourself a question. A person can ask themselves a question, but Christianity is not some kind of bliss. It's not that I liked it at some point here. And maybe it's absolutely everything and not so. And then we must remember the miracle of transformation, that the Lord appears on Mount Tabor, like God, and he's a glory. Glory in this glow. Yes, in the nature of this glory, creative and uncreated. We will leave aside for now this conversation, leave aside for now. But the fact that it was, and the fact that this should confirm us in moments of temptation. This is very important for us. Just make it clear for myself. Remember this moment. That Lord, he is God. That Jesus Christ, he's a God, and he is not one of. As we are told, yes, here is Christ, he was a good man. Not just a good one, he's so great. Ethical teacher of humanity. And it's delivered in one row there with great teachers. Humanity as if, for example, yes, there or Prophet Mohammed. No, we cannot put him in one row with these people. Because he is not just a human, but also God of God, man shine of glory Father. Therefore then, he came to us to teach and save us. It stands apart. It stands apart from everything. It is above all, and we must remember this. This is the first moment. Second moment. What we see on the icon of a transformation. Actually, I was talking in this. Here's some theological moments, such on the icon of transformation, which we often do not notice. There are moments both theological and psychological. When you and I talked about shining around a mandor cross figure, the so-called dark. Why is the shine dark? We talked about it with you. What it symbolizes. Divine darkness. This is the shining, which was shown on the blue by the hand of Moses. What is this divine bloom? God is experienced. And we must forget everything, what we know about him. Because he is above it all. He appears to us as if from the marriage of our ignorance. But leave it aside. Because it's high theology. While it may be hard for us, this to remember, or somehow to clarify for yourself, that is, the moment is purely psychological, which is clear and understandable to all of us. For example, on the prophet on the icon, Holy, Dionysia. Yes, and not only on this one. On many icons of transformation, we see such gospel image. When it means Christ stands on the mountain. On his right and on his left are the prophets. And below are the apostles. Here is the apostle Peter. He's so bent and kind of runs away from it all. He kinda got scared. not that scared. We read in the Gospel that good Lord, good for us. That is, it is good for us to be here. Let's have 3 booths, 3 tents for you. Here is for Moses and for Elijah. We feel so good. What he didn't even know what to answer, understand, how to react. But because of that he had such a fast. And the most immediate reaction of all the apostles. Yes, and he always reacted quickly. Because nature is such an apostle of Peter. He was a temperamental Eastern man. That is why Vera is like that. By the way, also yes, strong faith. And fall away is the same. Because inside, there's a hurricane. And here he is. Times like the fastest. How is the reaction internal? This happens. People who know, slow ignition is. And it happens at once and does not said yet. He is already running. Like that's from the boat. Apostle Peter the first. God Lord, led me to you. And remember this episode. And it's the same here. Because we are good to be here. Let's arrange everything here. That's how we would always be here. Because we feel good. These are depicted icons. They are amazed. They are in awe. They are kind of from it. They don't know what to do. They kind of run away because the shine of glory, because they never feel that way. And here's kind of an experience like this. What does this tell us? This tells us this is what? People who were still unenlightened at that moment. In all its fullness by grace, the apostles were still. Let's say so in the wrong sense apostles, which they then become after Pentecost. And you were still. In many ways people are passionate. People are uncouth in a sense. Yes, that's grace. Then only ran to become apostles, and we know. What did they run up? They were afraid. It was all like Ivan. We read about it. And here we see here, that being still completely unenlightened, not yet transformed nature they have, as we have with you now. Yes, until the end, then will be transformed into the kingdom of heaven, when it comes in its fullness. But they feel grace and glory to the Lord as bliss, like the highest form, joys of happiness, whom we are all looking for in life. All the people looking, and the very last sinner, and the most holy, they are looking for one. They are looking for happiness. They are looking for good for themselves. They are looking for joy. They are looking for the meaning of life. Just a sinner believes in the wrong. This meaning he just knocked down. He has a compass shot down. He has a spiritual. He spends his energy on the wrong thing, you understand. And wholly he understands that without God there is no happiness. There is no bliss. Because bliss is God. So here's imagine that in such a still not fully transformed state, people feel this. What is said in the description, her eyes did not see, neither ear heard, and the heart of man did not rise. Imagine our transformed state in the kingdom of heaven, coming in fullness, when this grace of God in its fullness will shine the saints. They shine like luminaries. And we are called with you. Imagine. What is this? That is, when still partly, only it is already so. So worried. What will happen when it is complete? So see the second meaning of transformation. This is the call of you and me. To that too. that joy so that we do not exchange with you 4 dimes. Understand, not to take with you on a career their some. Their Lord mean. What Lord is laying with him? On money. Yes, to some sinful pleasures and so on. Because in life it happens differently.